He may try to switch into mutas. Going roach into mutas can be quite effective because those are kind of two. The things you get to counter those are very different. Immortals and Colossi obviously don't help at all against Mutalisk. And he does have the space to really do it if he decides he wants to. And I think that's what he's going to do. It looks like he's getting a Baling Nest. I think he will probably end up getting some Mutalisk out and trying to, there we go, pulling those sentries back. Very important. Whenever you get the chance, you should absolutely pull those sentries back against Terran forces or Zerg forces that you cut off at a ramp. There's no any smart player is going to start trying to target down the sentries. So he has a lot of gas stockpile. I would expect some Mutalisks to start coming out here. And there we go, 7 Mutalisks. And I'm sure there will be more 7 mutas. There's no reason to do this. And this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. You try to kind of just divide their forces a little bit. He's not going to commit here. He just wants to keep him on his toes. He wants to keep him from preparing for the Mutalisk. Keep him from seeing the low numbers of units and thinking, what are you actually going to be doing? However, Parting, being a good player that he is, has... Oh, tell me you didn't do that, Parting. Oh, I think... Yeah, Parting actually built cannons and trapped half of his probes, so... You guys didn't see that. He's Korean, he would never do that. Anyway. So... Oh, I'm sorry, guys. This isn't Parting playing. This is a diamond level Protoss. I'm sorry. No, I've done that too, and it hurts a lot when you do that. It hurts a lot. Your probes can't mine because you build your cannons too close to the minerals, and it's painful. But I've never actually done that on a live stream of a tournament, so yay! That's one for me and 0 for Parting in that category. Anyway, the mutas. Strangely, he's keeping the Mutalisk right with his main army. He's not even trying to harass with them. I'm not entirely sure what the deal with that is. But, Parting's got a lot of gateways, which really... Oh, hold on, we got an engagement coming. He cuts off... That was very good by Parting. You gotta use the force fields to cut off the surface area for those lings. Otherwise, they're going to tear your forces up. Even if you have Zealots, they tend to clump and get in the back of the Stalkers because they're slow. Alright, let's see what we got. He can trap a bunch of units here if he lays on force fields properly. Oh, I don't agree with this at all. He's going to end up losing a lot of units here. Leenock, that is. Oh, he could take that Twilight Council out. Although he already has Blink. Oh, he's far smarter than I am. He's going to the Temple Archives, and he's going to get that, and that is huge when you have Mutalisks out. And Banelings, actually. Oh, that's terrible. He needs to start rebuilding that immediately, and in fact he is. Very smart of him. He's a Guardian Shield. There we go. Oh, his Immortals are dancing in the back. That's never what you want against Roaches. Over here we've got the Mutalisk of Leenock just absolutely destroying the probes at the third. Parting wisely pulls them. But, what do you know? We got units coming around. As a Protoss player, this is where you start pulling your hair out, because the Zerg is just pulling you apart. However, he has done a really nice job. That's not what I wanted. A really nice job keeping workers alive. As you can see, Leenock has only killed 12 workers. Surprisingly low, considering how bad it's looked. But probably the most important thing is Leenock has complete map dominance. Parting can't go anywhere, and not until he gets Psionic Storm will he be able to move anywhere. And Leenock knows this. He's throwing down his Infestor Pit. He's going to get his Hive, and he's going to start getting his Greater Spire. I would expect him to start expanding around the map, making sure that there is as many bases as he can get. So if Parting decides to pull all his units and just go for a base trade situation, it will not work out well for him. I don't think Parting would be dumb enough to do that, because #1 rule of Protoss against Zerg is you don't base trade against Mutalisks. It's a terrible idea. So he's smart. Parting knows, okay, I'm going to sit back on my 3 bases. I've got my 6 gas geysers. I've got my Psionic Storm researching. I have Blink. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get some High Templar, maybe a couple of Archons, and then I'm going to move out to put some pressure on. Oh man, that's a lot of Mutalisks, and he does not have Storm yet. He blinks back to his cannons, but they're not quite finished. He desperately needs reinforcements. Up come the Stalkers, but he pulled his entire army. Oh, that's a beautiful storm. Oh my gosh, and that is exactly why you need Side Storm against this type of army. You can do so much. Oh, use the high. Oh, that was so smart. He turns them into Archons before the Banelings can get to the High Templar, because 1 or 2 Banelings on those, and as a Protoss player, you will lose 700 gas so quickly. Just a couple of Banelings will massacre your High Templar. He's in a pretty bad spot right now. He really needs a Storm on those Mutalisks, because if you can land 1 or 2 Psy Storms on Mutas, then they can't really fight against your Stalkers at that point. But he drives them out for now. Now, it looks like Leenock, Leenock is so smart. He's going to go ahead and switch into his Infestor, get his Hive Tech out. He's playing his game plan just beautifully. He's keeping the Protoss on 3 bases. He's keeping his Storm count low so he can switch to his Hive Tech. And when he finally gets out from under the thumb of the Zerg army, he's going to Leenock will have Tier 3 tech. And what is he really going to do against a bunch of Broodlords, a couple Infestors, and Roaches? Nothing. Nothing, the answer is. So Parting's in a really tough spot here. And, I really like this move, getting a Warp Prism. Now, this can work, but it's tough, because the Mutalisks obviously are very quick and good at picking them off. So basically, he has to get that Warp Prism across the map unscouted. And if he can do that, he can end up doing a lot of damage. He might be able to snug some tech. Looks like we have a couple of Roaches pulling units into the main, and the counterattack here at the 3rd. This is smart, but he needs to back out. It looks like he's just going to focus on the Nexus. Oh my gosh! Focus on the Nexus, goofball! Wow, really? Okay. Well, I mean, 108 hit points. You can't afford to leave 1.5 Roaches behind to kill that. Well, what can you do? Anyway, so I guess magically the Nexus lives, but whatever, mining's not really that important in this game. I hope Leenock goes back and kills that thing. He could even use some of his super quick flyer units to focus it down. It looks like, is this actually happening? Anyway, he's actually lost quite a bit of supply, but I mean, let's be real here. He's got a lot of Broodlords on the way. Leenock is still in a great position, although the supplies are relatively even. What does Parting have to deal with those Broodlords? He has a bunch of Blink Stalkers. But with Infestors and Roaches, blinking under to try to kill the Broodlords is kind of dangerous. I don't know, I wouldn't do it. If I, as a person, could blink under a Broodlord, I probably wouldn't do it. If there were Infestors around, anyway. Oh, there's a Warp Prism drop Zealots here while I was waxing on about what I, as a person, would do if I had Blink. And he does spot the Warp Prism. Oh, I like this. He's bringing the Queens with the Broodlords so they can, I was just kidding. He's not doing that. I lied to you guys on purpose. Alright, so you see the Broodlords are going to push up here, and that Nexus really lives with 108 health. This is a scary army, man. He's got a bunch of High Templar, and those are terrible against Broodlords. I mean, as long as Leenock keeps his army under his Broodlords, what is Parting really going to be able to do? It's going to take some serious micro and positioning to actually be able to handle this. Oh, that's cute. He's side-storming the Broodlords. That is adorable. Oh, we have Stalkers counterattacking. It looks like, he kind of has to just go into the main and just try to scare him into pulling back, and it looks like it's actually working. I'm surprised. There's no reason he should be pulling back for this. He has mobile units that can handle these Stalkers. There's no reason for him to pull back his Queens and his Broodlords. They can keep pressuring here as long as he's being careful. But he is pulling back. He's going to clean up these Stalkers without too much problem. I don't think the Stalkers kill too much. That's not what I wanted. Yeah, there we go. So, he's killing a couple of workers, but it doesn't really matter. These Stalkers should be cleaned up pretty quickly by the Roaches and the Mutas. And he's going to continue pushing forward with the Broodlords. These Broodlords have absolutely no protection right now. He doesn't have tons of Stalkers around, but he could blink down and pick off some Broodlords, and he absolutely should. They have no protection where they are right now. Although, wisely Leenock is going to pull them back over this crevice, so they can't do that. So Parting can't do that. So Parting is going to push up into here, and there we go. That's wise to pull back just as the Broodlords are